now invite Dr. Somit to share his insights. A brief introduction about Dr. Somit. Dr. Somit Kumar currently works as the Director and Chief Scientific Officer at the Clinical Research and Pharmaceutics AVP Research Foundation. He received BAMS degree from Sri Chandrasekhar Rendra Saraswati Vishwa Mahavidyalay, Kanchipuram in 2005 and his MD from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Bangalore. He has also done PG certificate course of clinical research and clinical data management from Pune in 2007. Dr. Somit, welcome. Over to you.
Thank you, Arunima. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So first of all, I pay my humble regards to all the dignitaries today, and especially Guruji Nagendra ji, and all the eminent guests. So today, indeed, the topic given to me was yoga and Ayurveda. In that context, how this whole practice of Surya Namaskara is integrated into Ayurvedic Dinacharya. So as we know this word Dinacharya, now sun and moon represents the two major Shakti or the power center of Shita, which is represented by moon cycle, and Ushna or heat, which is represented by sun. So these are very two important source of virya or potency in this whole world. So even in Ayurveda, there are only two viryas, Ushna and Shita. That means a drug is becoming hot with the power of the Surya, a drug becomes cold with the power of moon. If you look at, so that's what we say, Agni Somya Eva Jagataha, Agni Soma. So this whole world is divided into Agneya, which is guided by Surya cycle, or Saumya, which is guided by moon cycle. So if you look at the whole place of importance of Surya or the chakra of sun, apart from Ayurveda, also Jyotisha and other allied fields have used it as a very important entity which influences us as well as environment around us. So in that context, if you look at what is its importance in the Dinacharya. So we say there are two phases in our 24-hour cycle, Aho and Ratri. Aho means when the end of moon or end of darkness happens, the Ratri becomes over, Aho Nisham. It is the phase of Surya Udaya, that means sunrise. And this is a very important juncture where your whole circadian rhythm, today a lot of research has been going all around the world on circadian rhythm, and even in 2017 a Nobel Prize of Medicine was given to the whole concept of effect of intensity of sunlight on human physiology. And it is now well proven how the intensity of sunlight, which influences on the suprachiasmic nuclei. The suprachiasmic nuclei, HCN, what we say, is nothing but our Bhumadhya, that is third eye of Shiva, what we say. So it's basically behind the optic chiasma, just behind the eyebrow center. And because of the intensity of sunlight, the Suryodaya, the whole physiology it starts. That means both the secretion steroid, cortisol in your body, as well as slowly your melatonin goes down and serotonin surge goes high, and your basal metabolic rate, your metabolism kicks in. Now, this is very important to understand that when and why Surya Namaskara. So many of us, when we practice Surya Namaskara, we do at our own convenience. But if you look at a very traditional text of both yoga and Ayurveda, Brahma Muhurta is said to be as one of the best time to do this yogic practices, or to start the yogic practices at least. So when you say Surya Namaskara, that means you are doing Namaskara, or you are giving the salute to sun, rising sun. So what it means, and what is Brahma Muhurta? It is the time just before the sunrise, that is on an average 40 minutes, 45 minutes before the sunrise is the Brahma Muhurta. Now, this is the time, as per Ayurvedic Dinacharya, your daily regime, where you need to get up. First, you need to brush, address to your nature's call, then follow a regime. That means you will have to then do a nasal insufflation. If you put nasya, what you say, do some eye therapy, put some oil in the ears, and then gargling. And then once your all the sense organs are activated, so once the sense organs are activated, then you need to get into vyayama. That means, and vyayama, the asana. So that's why Ashtanga yoga, you have yama niyama, which is basically also a very important connection between Ayurveda and yoga in Dinacharya and Sadvritta. So in Ayurveda, the yama niyama has been incorporated into the Dinacharya. There are certain things which you start in the morning, and Sadvritta, where you follow certain moral values. So you are incorporated into the concept of Sadvritta and Dinacharya. Now, so so in Ayurveda, they have basically told that what all activities should be done before you start the process of asana. And once you have done that, and then asana starts before sunrise. So that's why we say Surya Namaskara, according to Ayurvedic thought process, should be done at the time of sunrise. And why also? Because this is the time which is called as Vata Kalam. Now, before sunrise, basically Vata Vayo Ahoratri Bhuktanam Te Antamadhyadika Akramat. So the Vata is predominant before the sunrise, 3 to 4 hours before the sunrise. Vata is predominant. Now, why Vata is very important in that part in Brahma Muhurta? Because this is the time when we start our physiological activity. So Vata has the Chala Guna, the basic quality of movement, or allowing your prana to start moving. If you get up after sunrise, that is a kapha kalam, and kapha is manda, kapha is obstructive. So if you wake up after sunrise, your prana will not move properly. Why do we do asana? That's so that your prana can move without your obstruction. So if you wake up after sunrise, the moment sun rises, then the kapha kala starts. The whole mandatva, marga varodha, that means obstruction, begins. So if you do exercises or asanas after sunrise, you have inherently a obstruction in your body because of the kapha time. So that's why it has been told that all these practices, especially Surya Namaskara, according to Ayurvedic Dinacharya, has to be done in Brahma Muhurta, which is Vata Kalam. That means Vata is clear. It is having the quality of Tattva Ruksha, Laghu, Shita, Khara, Sushma, Chala, Anilaha. Chala. It has a movement. So when you get up at that time, you feel more fresh. You have more activity, you have better coordination. And once you do Surya Namaskara before sunrise, or just before the sunrise, that you end up your Surya Namaskara with the sunrise, then what will happen? You will have a better circulation. You can control your, if you see, according to circadian rhythm, your heart rate is highest around 8 to 9, around between 8 to 9 in the morning. Your blood pressure is highest at that time. And if you do your Surya Namaskar at that time, which is more dynamic asanas, they will further increase your heart rate, in fact. So what you need to do this before itself so that vasodilation happens. So you can even better manage from a modern physiology perspective also. You can better manage this surge, which is natural. Whether you do anything or not, according to circadian rhythm, this surge will happen. So you will better manage your blood pressure and heart rate and other things at that time, which is a natural surge when you do it before. So this is very important that um, doing certain activities, especially Surya Namaskara, cannot be at your convenience many a time if you follow Indian Shastras, because for every activity there is a time. Then, important aspect of uh, doing certain dynamic asanas are also, or warming up asanas like Surya Namaskara is how much to do. Uh, According to Ayurveda, Vyayama is important than like these kind of asanas. But how much? It should be Ardhashaktya Nishevyastu Balibihi Snigdha Bhojibihi. That means if you are having good metabolism, if you have indigestion, don't do too much of Surya Namaskara that day when you are facing indigestion. It's been told in our text, ajirni. Or if you have good appetite to, digest fat and heavy food, that means you have a good agni. So then you can do better this Surya Namaskara. So you have to align your number of Surya Namaskaras or intensity or the span or duration of Surya Namaskar according to your metabolism, and then subsequently your bala. Now, bala means your physical strength. What is the ideal time of your physical strength? That is basically we say Swedarambham. So when should we know that, okay, this is optimal, now we should break. This is the optimal level where Surya Namaskara should be stopped. So Swedarambham has been classically told. So when you start sweating profusely, give a break, give a pause. So these are some things which I think uh, which is told in our textual tradition about the quantum of whatever exercise you can do. So that's why even in yoga tradition, we see that after asana, you have a pranayama. Now, why? Because uh, once you activate your prana through dynamic asanas, your Ida and Pingala Nadi imbalance happens, like means parasympathetic and sympathetic imbalance happens. So your sympathetic nervous system is enhanced, or you have a lot of stress hormones because of also doing exercise, because it's kind of a physical stress. So what you have to do, then you have to balance. So Dadi Shodhana Pranayama is the balancing method where you are balancing your Ida and Pingala. So this is very important for us to, from a perspective of Ayurveda, what we say is balancing is the act of the uh, people who are very, very in terms of healthy or should have a healthy life. Did I do something wrong because I was supposed to speak later, isn't Aparna?
No, that's fine,
I'm
Dr.
sorry.
Sumit. No, doctor. I think it's very good that we've got a Ayurveda perspective. So there's a balance right in the middle of the program. Thank you so much, doctor. But we would also like to tell our audience that we hope to have a complete Ayurveda session sometime in the coming month with Dr. Somit. So you can ask him questions if you want about the practice. Thank you, Dr. Somit.